Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jeff Roth with NerdBacon.com.
And I'm Dave the Watchman with NerdBacon.com. Not the
And you,
sound man, obviously.
and you, and I, okay, I smell something cooking. It may be the audio that caught fire, but it's time for the Nerd Bacon
Oh
podcast
my
right here at
goodness.
twitch.tv/nerdbacon, mixer.com/nerdbacon, youtube.com/nerdbacon, and Spotify, on Anchor, on Stitcher, on any place you take your audio podcast with you. Dave, besides the audio issues, how are you, my friend?
I'm not too bad. It's been so gloomy in this bloody city for about a week, and
I was gonna say,
I'm
yeah.
feeling the lack of vitamin D at the moment.
Well, it's supposed to be like 80 some degrees tomorrow, and then back to
Right.
like 60. So
Exactly.
everyone's
We're
gonna get
getting
sick.
we're getting one day of a little bit of sunshine just to remind us that it's still there, and then beep, back into fall gloom. Is it going to be like this all winter? Is this what we have to look forward to?
I think it's gonna be a long winter. I think it's gonna be a long, cold winter.
I am afraid that you're right.
Yeah. We're due for one. It's been a while since we had a really brutal winter, so I'm afraid that this is gonna be the year.
We had some brutality last year, but
It just went forever. Like the the,
yeah,
the, the winters went into like May and almost into June, and we're like, okay,
right,
enough.
right. Yeah, I think
But
you're right though. I think we are due, and even the Farmer's Almanac is like, yeah, it's gonna it sucks to be you.
thanks for the
Bring in the
host on
tomato
Twitch, by the way.
plants. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you, Kiku Pat, for those. Otherwise, I'm all right. I'm excited. We're in the fourth quarter finally. October has begun.
It's October. This
It's
is insane.
it's time to not shovel us the shovelware, but to give us the good coal. Time to fuel the fires of our gaming engines with quality software. And
Yeah,
my goodness, crazy announcements and stuff going on this week.
exactly. I mean, this is a heck of a week for gaming. I mean, if you're going to start off Q4, this is the way to do it. I mean, not only are you getting big time releases, but we at NerdBacon, especially Dave, can now throw our nose up in the air and say, "Ha ha, we told you." Because
Well,
before,
just to be fair, all credit doesn't go to me. Credit goes to our excellent sources who have been talking with us since like March of this year and have become very good friends. And we are very appreciative to those sources who are
yeah,
just above and beyond, just gentlemanly behavior and fantastic people and just all around good friends. So
they could have told us to shove it, but instead they let us into their circle and made us part of the family, and it feels great.
indeed, but
So
yeah, go on.
because of that information, because of our friendships, because of our connections, we were able to report before any major outlet did.
That includes you, Jason Schreier. Sorry,
Oh,
had to
drop the mic. We
had
love
to
you, Jason.
had to poke the bear.
We love you, Jason. We were the first ones to report that Google was going to get into the fray. And what happened today, or recently?
What
Google
happened
announced,
yesterday?
happened yesterday. Google announced they're getting into the fray. So
That's right. The first of the Titans has arrived. Of course, we're also expecting Apple and possibly Amazon to arrive, but Google yesterday announces that they're going to launch a game streaming service that's called Project Stream right now. I'm sure that's not going to be the final name of
that
it.
better change, because that's worse. That's worse than Project Natal.
Yeah. But Project Stream is basically, it's a streaming platform. So their aim is to take any AAA title. They're testing this out with the new Assassin's Creed Odyssey game, which is launching Friday. That's when actually this Project Stream beta launches.
Right.
But they want to take any AAA high budget, eye candy, beautiful game and stream it directly to your Chrome browser without any type of crazy high-end hardware on the end of the player. And they're saying it's a pretty modest internet connection that is required, 25 megabytes down. They didn't say anything about upload speed in their blog post, but 25 megabytes down is not crazy fast. So that's really very interesting.
That's very doable. Now, like this kind of the bare bones of this is insane to me. You can open up a tab on your Google Chrome and play Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
That's insane to me because my biggest thing is that I see so much of original PlayStation Now in this, and
Yes.
I had a lot of issues with PS Now when it first came out. They've changed some things now and adapted more to what Xbox Game Pass is, which is a superior service in my opinion. But a lot of it is for me latency. It's going to be input lag because you don't like. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to want to play fighting
Sure.
games or first-person shooters when you need pinpoint accuracy and split-second decisions that can make or break a game. Assassin's Creed's an interesting way to test this because it's super popular
Right.
and it's not going to be. I mean, the first time somebody experiences some lag and jumps to their death, they're going to be swearing up a storm.
Yes.
But it's not going to require split-second timing like a Tekken would or a Call of Duty would. So I guess if they're going to pick a game to start with, this is a good one to pick.
Yep, it's a very good one to pick. I'm going to be really interested to see what the graphic fidelity is as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, are we going to get something that can they stream like a 4K resolution game, or are we just looking at 1080p? I doubt that they can stream 4K at this point, but
Right.
you know,
I mean,
a 1080p game is still going to be pretty impressive, especially if it's running at 60 frames per second. I'm so curious to see how this works. And we've known this is coming for a while.
right.
I was thinking it was going to be more of an actual device itself as opposed to just like this web browser service. So that's pretty surprising to me. But then again, think of it this way. Once they're ready to roll this thing out, they just, stick the infrastructure on a little, Chrome stick. What is it called?
Sure.
Is that what it's called, the Chrome stick?
Chrome.
Whatever the Chrome things are that you plug into the TV. But
Yeah.
they
Chromecast.
Thank you. Yes, Chromecast. But they package in like a new generation of Chromecast with an actual controller. I mean, boom, there you go. You are on your TV streaming your games. And you can do that for like $60, maybe $100 at the very most, as opposed to, a $500 PlayStation 5. Thank you, Kikapov. Chromecast. So yeah, that is a very attractive solution for getting your next generation thrills and spills.
Sorry, the joke is too obvious. A chromo trigger. That's
Oh
what I
my
want to call it. A
gosh.
chromo.
You just won the internet with that one, buddy.
Yes,
Woo!
I did. This is my chromo trigger.
Robo Trigger. My God. They should
Not
call
only
it
is this, it's interesting because yes, this is the giant known as Google, but this is kind of the first step into an all streaming future that basically the dystopian streaming future that we've been promised basically that's coming in the world of gaming with more and more companies trying to get in on this. This is the ultimate guinea pig to see if this is even be a viable thing.
It really is. I posted my report on this in the chat here, but yeah, you're absolutely right. I thought it was really interesting that they chose Assassin's Creed Odyssey as their guinea pig because Ubisoft president, CEO Yves Guillemot has been talking extensively about how streaming is the future, how this next generation of consoles is probably going to be the last generation of consoles. And here they are, right at the forefront of this streaming revolution.
And with this partnership with Ubisoft, you got to imagine like if this succeeds in some way, which I guess that's another thing I want to talk about it when we get there, is what they would consider a success.
Sure.
But you could see them bring over Rainbow Six or bring over the Division 2
Yep.
or maybe Steep on there because it's not graphically intense or something like that.
That
but I
Skull
guess
and Bones game.
yeah, that because boy, that game went silent for a while, didn't it? So what would constitute a success with this?
If they can get enough people to try it out and say, hey, wait a second, there really isn't that much latency on it. We're pretty much having a one-to-one experience. if they can get that much in the way of positive reactions to it, then yes, that is a success. If they can have a more positive reception than PlayStation Now's service when that first launched and kind of turned everybody off on it,
Right.
then it's going to be a success. But the other point I was going to make, success or not, this kicks open the door for, as you said, our dystopian all streaming future, because we know that Apple is probably at work on a similar project right now. We know they're working on a gaming thing, but God knows they're not going to do a physical media-based gaming system. It's going to be a streaming solution, probably based in their Apple TV, their next generation Apple TV. So Apple is working on that. We already know Microsoft is working on bringing streaming to the next generation Xbox and probably Xbox One, Xbox One X, etc. So they're working on that. Nintendo has already, in Japan, experimented with streaming some larger titles that can't fit onto the Switch to the Switch in Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So the genie's out of the bottle at this point, and Google is the major rub. This shakes up everything as far as the coming console war for 2019, because Google doesn't have to rely on the console. All they got to do is sell their little Chromecast. If even that, they just sell a service to anybody who's got a PC, and bada bing, bada boom.
And let's just throw this what if out there. If we get to this point where Google is now ahead of the game as far as streaming goes, if Microsoft says, hey, do you want to help us with this new console that we're doing? Here's a bunch of money. And all of a sudden, Microsoft and Google start talking about that. And here's technology, put this into our box.
Yeah, that's, it changes everything. This is the most significant announcement that we've seen in gaming, not just all year, but in the past few years. This is absolutely huge.
It's because it's not one of the main companies. It's not one of the main gaming companies. It's Google. It's a company that is like the conglomerate and everything else. Google is a verb now, and for them to jump into gaming, not only just to be a part of the industry, but to be a part of it like this and push a new technology forward. That's why it's huge. Yeah, because Sony with PS Now, okay, great, you can stream it, and it ran crappy. Google's saying we can do this. Watch this. That's the big thing.
Right, and Google is very important because they've got that mind share with people who are not traditional gamers.
Right.
PlayStation and Xbox and everybody, those are gaming brands. But Google is everybody. Even your grandma uses Google. I'm not saying grandma's probably gonna play games now that it's streaming through Google, but it's just got that larger audience base that they can tap into. So
this is going to open some doors, and
it definitely throws a new wrinkle into 2019 for sure.
I have so many questions as far as just how this thing can work and how it can work. I understand that it would not work flawlessly. I get it. It's still kind of an early test on something intense like an Assassin's Creed game.
Sure.
But when I played PS Now, my first game that I tried was DOA 5. And as soon as my internet would not be perfect, all of a sudden it was blurry or it would just pause the game. And I can't imagine if I'm going online against somebody, if you have that internet connection butting up with my streaming internet. Like, I know that when you stream wirelessly, it's hard. Doing anything wirelessly is hard. So you want to hardwire all the time. Well, if I'm streaming DOA 5 and then also here's this other person's internet coming in for an online game, it would just turn to complete crap. So if that's what happens again with Google, are we kind of maybe barking up the wrong tree as far as let's stream? Maybe not yet.
Yeah, I don't know. That the jury is still out until we actually get our hands on this, and I'm keeping every appendage that I can crossed that I'll get into the beta test on Friday. Google, if you're listening, we were reporting on this before anybody, so hit me up, NerdBacon.com, The Watchman. I've signed up. Go ahead and float me that beta, because I've been telling everybody that you're coming for a while, even before Kotaku. So
and hey, if you got
up.
If you got an extra copy of Assassin's Creed, go ahead and throw that my way. 'Cause it looks really good. Any more of the Google talk, or shall we press forward?
um, my big thing is, what kind of impact is this going to have on the timeline for everybody else? Right now, this is just a beta test, but when does the beta test become reality?
Right.
And like I said, what does that do to Sony's time frame? Does that push up their time frame for launching PlayStation 5? Does that push up Microsoft's time frame for revealing the Scarlet project? Does that push up Nintendo for the Switch Pro?
Well, we may find out here in the next month or so with that Xbox event in Mexico City.
Yep, XO18,
And
November
we'll find
10th
out
through 11th, and you can join us live as we provide commentary and live reactions to all the announcements right here on NerdBacon.com.
And then in a couple months, the PSX. Oh, wait, not gonna
No
happen.
PSX this year. Yeah, that was really interesting, wasn't it?
That
Sean Layden last week. Hey, what's up? Xmod Raptor. Bob the Builder can build. Let's see. Can build. Heard here first. Back to you, NerdBacon. Let's see. So, yeah, PlayStation Experience not happening this year. Sean Layden appeared on the PlayStation Blogcast and announced that, hey, this annual tradition is no more. It's going to skip a year.
Well, I mean, they had their PSX experience at E3 because
they went
that
to
conference
church.
that conference was a PSX conference for me. But
Yeah.
So because there's no PSX, and because we're getting the Xbox event, and they're basically at this point running unopposed, if I can use a topical political term.
Mm-hmm.
Does this all but guarantee Microsoft coming forward and saying, here is a look at the new box?
Man, I think there's a really good chance that we'll see at least a tease, because the timeline that I've heard from Microsoft is 2020 for Scarlet.
Right.
But I don't know. Do you think it would be wise of them to do a tease like right before Black Friday like that? Because they're, what, 1 week out from Black Friday?
Well, they can always make it obvious that, I mean, they can come out and say, oh, they can announce their deals. Like say, hey, by the way, for Black Friday, you can save so much money off of Xbox One X or Xbox One S or whatever.
Yeah.
And then say, and because of that, we are forward thinking, and here's a quick look at something that's in the works. I mean, they can make it obvious and say it's not coming out for a couple years, and that won't throw consumers aside. That we know it's coming. Like, we're not idiots. But they can sit there and say, hey, we're looking at this in the future, but also here's the now. So they can kind of play both hands here. They have free reign because they're the only show in town, basically. They can have free reign.
Right. Hey, what's up, Case Monster 2135? How are you doing? Welcome to the NerdBacon podcast.
Hi.
Yeah, I mean, it's Xbox could do whatever they want at this point. There's definitely no catching Sony as far as units sold for this generation. Everybody's looking at next generation at this point. So, yeah, do they just say, hey, who the heck cares? Whoever's going to buy Xbox Ones this holiday season, that's great. But for our hardcore fans, here's what we're working on next.
Yeah, and I just can't...
It just feels like it would undercut. It just feels like it would undercut any potential sales that they would have, especially the Xbox One X throughout the holiday season.
Sure, but do you think at some point I don't want to say throwing in the towel, because I'd be like they're quitting. They're not quitting, but they have put so much into the forward thinking. They've been the most forward thinking company, and they're set up the best for the next generation. So I could see them being the ones that fire the first salvo, because they're the most prepared for it. So yeah, they're not quitting on this generation. They still have some units to sell, and people will get the Xbox One X because they get their shiny new 4K TVs for Christmas as well. But I think there's something to be said about them putting stock in their future, because they have so far already.
Sure. I agree, and they're really, at this point, they're going to go into XO18, and we know they've got a next gen console going. I don't think they're going to have any like huge game announcements
No.
beyond what we've already seen, which is like Ori and
Unless
Gears of War.
we finally see some Halo Infinite, I imagine.
Halo Infinite is a next-gen game.
Sure, but you can always
Well,
tease it here,
it's
though.
a cross-gen game, I should say.
You can always tease the heck out of it here, which is why you have this big event.
Right, right. Yeah, we'll probably there's a chance we'll see some
Because
gameplay footage of that.
that's a heavy hitter for Microsoft still.
Carry Tunic 36. I'm new. That's all right. We're old.
Yeah.
But welcome. And Unseeing Poet 836 is the newest Baconeer joining us from Mixer. Welcome, Unseeing Poet. Unseeing Poet. I cannot talk today.
You have your rough time. It's okay.
Yeah. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, it's because we haven't seen the sun in 5 days because it's been rainy. I think it's probably some residual from like the hurricane weather, and obviously anybody affected in the hurricane, hopefully everyone's getting their lives back together and getting through the best as possible. Yeah, we've been having rainfall here in the Midwest for the past week.
We've been having Mistfall, and Carrie Tunic 36 is the newest Baconeer, joining us for a Mixer as well.
The Mixer party
Mixer
is jumping
crowd
tonight.
is great. Awesome.
Fantastic. Welcome, guys.
Thanks so much. And definitely let us know, what do you think we are going to see at Microsoft's big XO18 event happening November 10th and 11th in Mexico City, Mexico? Are we going to see Microsoft's next generation console, currently codenamed Scarlet? Are we going to see Halo Infinite, Gears of War, what is this, 5?
Run 5.
5, all right.
So it's just Gears 5, not Gears of War 5. It's Gears 5.
Sorry. Gears
Yeah.
5. What kind of crazy stuff do you want to see at XO18? Xbox is talking. Xbox is on the move like the armies of Sauron and Mordor. They are ready to roll. They are gathering their forces and ready for a next generation onslaught in 2019, 2020. We don't know. We will know next month. We do play games. We play lots of games.
All the games.
We'll be talking about games we're playing in just a little bit.
So people who are just tuning in the first time, we're from NerdBacon.com. We are freelance video game journalists. We've been writing about games for most of our adult lives. So you can always check the site out, NerdBacon.com. We have a bunch of great people who write over there and contribute over there, as we are people who play all the games and review them and talk about them and do a weekly podcast right here on this very channel.
So anyway, coming back, I think the actual topic we were talking about was PlayStation Experience not happening. And
Right.
I thought it was really interesting, Sean Layden's comment saying that he didn't feel that they had enough content to bring everybody together for PlayStation Experience this year.
That was obvious at E3.
Well, I think that's pretty shocking, though, considering how much content has been on PlayStation 4. Don't people want to get their hands on... Isn't there an opportunity for people to get their hands on The Last of Us Part 2, Ghosts of Tsushima? We can't, bring out a playable demo of Death Stranding yet, or at least some of the third-party games like Devil May Cry 5 and Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Oh, yeah. Do you think this just basically indicates that they're all hands on deck for PS5?
I think it absolutely does. To me, and I've got an article coming out at this about this at 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Folks, I'm confident PlayStation 5 is coming out next year. I'm confident. There was talk that they might wait and do it in spring of 2020. But now that Google has made their announcement, I really feel like they have no choice but to push ahead and launch in 2019. But you can read about that tomorrow. My thoughts on PlayStation 5. It's very, very telling that Sean Layden says that there wasn't enough content. In my history working retail and covering the video game industry for many, many, many years, when you see that release schedule start to dry up on a console, that means the next one is far behind, because is not far behind, because all those development resources have moved over to the next gen. So Carry Tunic 36, to answer your question, you know it. There will be a PlayStation 5, and 2019, I think, is the date, but check us out on NerdBacon.com tomorrow morning to read my full report. And by the way, Case Monster 2135 is the newest Baconeer. Welcome.
Mixer party jumping. Yeah, this just seems like they've kind of played all the cards in their hand right now. Sony has, is what I'm getting at here, and like the final big games coming out, Ghost of Tsushima, uh,
Mm-hmm.
Days Gone. It's big for them. It won't be a good game. I don't think it'll be a good game,
It might
but
be. It might be all right.
it'll be all right. Last is Part 2, but yeah, this is kind of like the swan song of PS4, and I think if we're gonna put like a season on it, I would say by summer of next year we'll at least get some hard facts as far as price and what it looks like and that kind of a thing. So, and that's maybe why they're skipping PSX this year because they have nothing to show because they've played their hand on PS4
Mm-hmm.
and said, okay, we have nothing right now. We have to keep
Yeah,
our focuses on PS5.
the release lineup for Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft to some degree with third parties and with Ori and everybody is front loaded for 2019
Right.
within that first quarter. But then once you get beyond that into quarter two and then after quarter two, you really don't see much that's announced that is definite for those quarters. And that is really telling to me. Case Monster, that's all right. You got to go to bed. You got to go to bed. Get some rest. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining
you
us.
can
We're here every Tuesday, so yeah, definitely check
see,
us out.
catch the archive or catch us on your favorite audio form of podcast as well.
You know it. By the way, Max Power 55 is the newest Baconeer joining us on Mixer. Max
Max
Power.
Power.
I am so happy. I love that name so much. My 3000 GT, I had named that Dr. Maxwell Power.
Very nice.
That's a Simpsons reference, actually.
It sure is.
It sure is.
There's a band when I was in high school. There was a band of my high school buddies. They were called Max Power,
Ah,
and
that's awesome.
that was purely because of the Simpsons reference.
It's a great episode. Unseeing Poet, thanks for joining us. Yeah, definitely stay tuned, and we appreciate you joining us. Definitely check us out at NerdBacon.com. What about
Indeed.
Xbox Project Scorpion? Scorpion was the project, the code name for what turned into the Xbox One X.
Was it Scorpion or Scorpio?
Oh, it was Scorpio. You're right. So I
Oh.
haven't heard of a Project Scorpion. I've just heard of the code name Scarlet.
Right.
So
Would it be
that's
cool
probably the same thing.
if it was red, much like the Mortal Kombat character, or the color? I guess. You want it.
Ooh, yeah, that would be interesting. Like kind of a deep burgundy.
Yeah, like a crimson. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, yeah, we're front loaded next year, especially in February, because the same day we have Days Gone, we have Anthem, and we have it's one more that I keep forgetting that's on that same day. Um,
What is that? February? Oh, Shadows Die Twice.
Thank you.
You're
On
welcome.
the same day, but then once we get into spring, summer, there are big gaps of nothing. Which
Yeah.
conveniently enough, you could put a release of a new console into. You know, you could put the Switch Pro revision. You could put the announcement of a PS5, and then boom, 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 announcements just come out of nowhere. So next year, I think, is going to be the year that we see some big things happening.
We are on the eve of one of the hypest years in gaming, I believe. I think 2019 is going to be absolutely insane.
This was the calm before. I mean, 2017 was so good in gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It was the peak, and now we're in the valley of 2018, which is a weird thing to say with Red Dead coming out in a few weeks. But overall, this year has been
Right.
decent compared to
Right.
what last year was.
Well, everybody
Next
came
year
off
being
of the
huge.
projects that they were releasing in 2017, and then they started new projects, and and
Oh, I'm sorry.
most of
It's
those new projects have moved over to next gen.
that same day's Anthem, Crackdown 3 supposedly, Days Gone, and Metro Exodus is the same day as well.
Do you think Crackdown 3 is going to actually release that day?
No,
Me either.
I don't think so. I think,
There's a game that's gone radio silent.
but it can't go too much later because March has DMC5, Division 2.
Yeah.
That's when Shadows Die Twice is. So, I don't know, man.
Yep. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. What was I gonna say? Anthem. Do you think Anthem's gonna? I don't think Anthem's gonna be good.
I have some hope on it because I want to believe in this project from BioWare. It's the right BioWare team doing it. I want to have faith, but boy, they're radio silent is Anthem right now, and it's scary because they're put so much behind this game, and it made it like as big as Destiny, as big as Halo. It's
Yeah.
Anthem, and we have not really heard much since E3.
No, we haven't heard anything since E3.
And even at E3, we didn't hear. We saw some gameplay footage, but it was like, this game still has a way to go.
Well, they've put their marketing mouths behind Battlefield 5 for the time being.
Right.
And they delayed that, and now they've got to get that out, for November. So after Battlefield 5 comes out, then you're going to hear a little bit more about Anthem. Well, you'll have to at this point. Yeah. There's not much choice left unless they delay Anthem again.
Right.
But they won't delay Anthem again because they want that out at the end of their fiscal year,
right,
which would end in March. So they really couldn't delay it. And they also, I think, put Anthem at that time slot. So if it does fail, they can go ahead and shut down BioWare and say, when they have that end of the fiscal year report to their investors, say, yep, this game tanked, but we took measures to stop that by closing down the studio.
Kind of a safety net, if you will.
For them, yes.
Yep.
It's a sword of Damocles hanging over BioWare's head right now. By the way, still 1-0 Rockies, and we're in the top of the 6th at this point.
Come on, Cubbies.
Yeah, this is getting a little bit stressful.
Oh, Harry. We want to talk about a game release, a game announcement, I guess I should say.
Well, a game leak. This is Harry.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of being Harry.
Yeah, so overnight and last night, someone leaked video of a Harry Potter game, and it looked absolutely crazy. Warner Brothers has since pulled down the video, but actually, I've got a video queued up here. Why don't I just go ahead and...
You go play it on the stream for us?
I'm going to play it on the stream. How about that?
Right. People enjoy this.
You know it. Let me find it. This is on somebody else's... No, I got to go to the editor. There we go. Playing on the fly here. Alrighty. Let me just pull this up. Sorry. And full screen you.
I've not seen this yet, so.
Okay. Anyway, this is Chai Guy Gaming has this on their channel, so. Nope, that's not what I want.
Great. This is going great.
Thank you. All right, now it's up. Woo! Right. Any new Xboxes coming soon? I think 2020 is when we see the next when the next Xbox is released. But don't forget, Microsoft has their big XO18 event November 10th through 11th down in Mexico City, Mexico. They have promised us all sorts of surprises and goodies, so we may get a glimpse at their next generation machine this November, but you'll want to keep it tuned in right here because we are going to be covering that conference as it happens.
So, what's the spell called that summons
truckloads
of...
I hit play on it already. Anyway,
okay.
I muted their audio. So yeah, look at this Harry Potter game. I find it really interesting that all of the press outlets are like, new video seems to show a new Harry Potter game. They use that language where it's like, it may not be a Harry Potter game, even though it's like,
just in case
when you listen to the soundtrack and everything, it's dun 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 dun. It's freaking Harry Potter.
So this is pointing towards an open world.
This
Harry Potter style game.
This is not part of the footage. This part. Anyway, I had to go to a third-party site to find footage here. Here we go. Anyway. Looking at this, definitely, we've got a very cool Harry Potter game that is coming out here. The thing that grabbed me was that this is supposed to be from Avalanche Studios.
Right. This is Avalanche that does the Just Cause games.
Is it the Just Cause games, or I thought it was the Avalanche that did the Disney Infinity games?
Oh, gosh, you might be right. It's just two
Yeah.
Avalanche studios.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It's the
That would make
Avalanche.
more sense, I guess, than the Just Cause people. I wish it was the
Yeah,
Just
because
Cause people.
Just Cause is Square Enix,
Right. And
and
Just Cause 4 is coming out soon.
yeah, and Harry Potter is a WB published franchise. It's really good graphics, and this is
Anyway,
kind of
yes.
crappy like off-screen footage taken with a cell phone, but the graphics looked, I think, too good to be a current gen game. And like, look at the texture detail. And again, this is really bad cell phone footage, but looking at like the lighting and the texture detail that we're seeing here, like the sharpness of the buildings and everything, I really don't think this is a current gen game. We're showing
Now,
somebody in their laboratory and just the detail that's surrounding here. I'm confident this is a next gen title, guys and girls.
now, not only was Avalanche rumored to be a part of this, but also another rumor out there, not confirmed, just a rumor out there, was this might be Rocksteady.
That's right. We had heard rumors prior to this video being leaked that Rocksteady, there's been all sorts of rumors flying around about Rocksteady. They might be working on Justice League. They might be working on Superman. There was one rumor that they might be working on Harry Potter. Everybody seems to be pushing this towards Avalanche, who makes Disney Infinity, etc.,
Right.
etc. I don't think this is Avalanche. Looking at the action in this trailer, looking at the level of detail in the world and the characters, this does not match Avalanche's body of work. Look at this scene where he reconstructs the bridge. Look at the detail in this guy's face right here, if you can see that, Jeff.
Well, it's Strange buffering a bit for
Okay,
me
no
here,
worries.
but
But for those of you who are watching, look at the detail in that face. Like, I thought the faces in Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 looked really good, but this blows everything out of the water. This blows even God of War out of the water in just the fidelity. Like, Spider-Man, those faces look good, but they kind of look like clay, like a face that's been molded out of clay almost.
sure.
This looks like almost like CGI in real time.
That dude could be me.
Yeah, that could be you. I thought it was you at first. I was like, my
Hey.
boy Jeff is in a Harry Potter game. What?
Finally. Gosh.
You're a wizard.
Something about Stupefy, I think. But
Yeah,
no, this is
just-
kind of neat to kind of peek at and kind of tear apart here because yeah, this is definitely something Harry Potter related,
Right.
and obviously this took some work to put together. It's not like someone's just doing this out of spite.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a fan made project, but at the same time, like this is really good for what it is.
I don't think it's a fan project. It's way too detailed to be a fan project. Yeah, it is like you're staring at a real person. I just looking at this, I really think this is either a next gen title or this was running off of a PC, like a souped up PC with a 1080 Ti graphics card in there, which is possible.
The comments are going nuts here, I can tell.
Yeah. I really think that this is a PC game, or this is a next gen title. And I don't know. I don't have anything to go on. I've been trying to hit my sources up on this, but there's no confirm or denial. I think this is Rocksteady's game. We know that Avalanche is supposed to be working on a Harry Potter game, but I don't think this is it. I think my theory is that this game is Rocksteady's game. Avalanche's game is a little bit more on the lines of Disney Infinity and is going to tie in with Niantic's upcoming Harry Potter Go cell phone game.
Sure.
This is a standalone open world RPG. This looks incredible. I
And
think this is Rocksteady's
if either of those
game.
two studios have the capacity to do so, it'd be Rocksteady.
There was a rumor that hit NeoGAF yesterday. For those who still will look at NeoGAF, there was a rumor that hit NeoGAF that Rocksteady was about to reveal a big like game as service Justice League game, which I was like, all right, I'm kind of all about this. Basically think like Destiny and throw DC characters into it.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it does sound great. I'm wondering if that is like a diversionary post that was put out there to throw people off the scent.
Well, if people want to check out this trailer, it's on. There are some on YouTube of guerrilla style quality.
Yeah.
Since WB has since taken this down, and when developers take stuff down in that much of a hurry, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we know this is real. By the way, Ramo420 is the newest Baconeer joining us on Mixer. Ramo420, welcome to NerdBacon. Look at the lighting on this. This is insane. You can't tell me this is the same people who do Disney Infinity. You can't tell me that. I'm going to get this off the screen. I'm going to find Disney Infinity footage real quick.
Well, I can tell you that, but you don't have to believe me.
Let's find it. Let's find some Disney Infinity footage just for poops.
Well,
and giggles.
that's apples and oranges.
I know, right? But still, that's got to be. Tell me that cannot be. That cannot be anything but Rocksteady's game. Let's see, Disney Infinity.
It's kind of cool to have the gears moving, but yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's as someone who's not spent a lot of time in the Harry Potter world, as someone who's not seen the movies or read the books. I've been to the Hogwarts at Universal Studios, and that was fun. That's interesting to me, though. I have interest in that and what that could be.
I do too. I just want to find out what this is all about. Personally, the sleuth in me. I'll confess, I am not much of a Harry Potter fan. Ramo420, what is up with you? We're just investigating this whole crazy Harry Potter leak from earlier in the day.
We're
trying to figure out.
Over 30-year-old men trying to figure out Harry Potter.
Yeah. So here is some Disney Infinity footage that I found on the YouTube channel, and I will give a shout out to whoever's YouTube channel this is momentarily. Okay, so here's Disney Infinity. Cartoony. Looks all right. It's definitely in keeping with the spirit of the Disney cartoons. Let's see some gameplay footage here.
Your gameplay footage is you like Skylanders.
Okay, here we go. All right, so
I played a good chunk of the Marvel superheroes stuff in this.
I don't know. I mean, this looks okay, but it sure doesn't look. And again, it's a completely different art style, but man, oh man,
and I could possibly be different hardware too.
Right. I don't know. I really feel that that is Rocksteady's game.
Either way, the leak came out of a new Harry Potter game that we're seeing and we're thinking is real. The rumor was Avalanche, who has worked on Disney Infinity. The other rumor being Rocksteady, who was famous for the Batman Arkham Asylum series. Dave's sitting here thinking that it's basically that this is Rocksteady's game with Harry Potter. Well, I think we'll find out here before too long that of what this actually is, because it looks like this project is at least far along that we could be seeing a trailer for this, maybe at the Game Awards.
Right. And this was Blitzwinger's channel on YouTube, so that's where we're getting the Disney Infinity footage. So Blitzwinger, if you want to look him up on YouTube and give him a subscription, there you go.
See, we cite our sources.
That's right. So here are my additional thoughts on this.
Okay.
The leak supposedly came from somebody who was involved in a focus test. So this isn't anybody who's actually like part of whoever's development studio or anything like this. This is like market research. Okay, we're going to show you the footage and get your reactions to this footage. And somebody copped it off of that, which is, you know, if you did that, you're a really shady person. Like, right. Terrible. Thanks for doing it. It's awesome. I love talking about it. But you're kind of a dirtbag. But
you're that person who sits there in a movie theater with your phone, very discreetly, you know, pirating Deadpool 2 or whatever.
You're like the crappy uncle that tells your nieces and nephews what they got for Christmas before they have a chance to open it.
Right.
Oh, man. Anyway, so they're showing this footage. They're doing market research on this footage. My thought is, if they're doing market research on this footage, if they're focus testing it, they must be pretty darn close to showing this footage, right? And if they're pretty darn close to showing this, it's not like there's a PlayStation experience that's going to happen where they can show off this trailer. What is it? Oh, wait. There's XO18 happening in November. Oh, the plot thickens. And if this is not a current gen title, as I don't think it is, because it looks too good to be true on current gen, then let's put that piece together here. Let's put that square peg in a round hole. I am thinking that this is kind of proof that we're going to see something related to Microsoft's next console at this big event next month, and this is a trailer associated with it. That's just my thought. So,
or plan B, we see it at the Game Awards.
We could see it at the Game Awards. That's a good point. I forgot about that. Darn you and your logic.
Sorry. I know, I'm evil.
Apparently they're taking Lester out of the game at this point, so we're in the bottom of the sixth now.
Bottom of sixth, all right.
Probably.
All right. So that's a game.
Speed through the rest of this.
All right. So that's a game that was leaked that is coming out. How about games that are out right now, or at least right around this time? This week has been a heck of a week for gaming because not only Assassin's Creed Odyssey is out there in the wild. I mean, people can play it right now if they preload like the super version, I believe, the gold edition. I think they can play it right now. Mega Man 11 hit today as well.
Yeah.
The first numbered Mega Man game in, 8 years?
Yeah, actually, that is correct. The Blue Bomber returns. Everything that I've seen is that the game is amazing, if not a little too hard. My best friend and resident Mega Man aficionado, Sean Bonamigo, I bought Mega Man for him for his birthday. He was playing through it, and he had to confess to me, Dave, I had to turn the difficulty down to casual. I was like, sacrilegious.
People were saying it's quite difficult.
He says that he thinks they learned a thing or two from Cuphead, which is a great thing. Cuphead was fantastic, but
what's the price tag on this?
$30.
Is that kind of a lot for a Mega Man game?
No, I think $30 is fine. You can get it on Green Man Gaming for $22.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
The boss door is still broken, so I'm still upset about that.
You know what? $50 game would have gotten you boss doors.
Capcom. Again, Capcom right there, just rigging me for more money.
I think $30 is a perfect price for this game, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it looks great. It looks like it's kind of reminds me graphically or art style wise of Mega Man Power Up, which is the PSP game. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like that kind of, I don't want to say cel shady, but more like they finally took the 8-bit style Mega Man and put him into. I mean, we've seen the 16-bit stuff on the SNES, but we're seeing this kind of HD version of Mega Man side-scroller, which makes me very happy. It looks great, and hopefully the soundtrack is just as good. I've seen some parts of it, but Mega Man is defined by his soundtracks to me.
That's very true. I haven't heard anything on the soundtrack as of yet. No chatter or anything yet. So,
but it's reviewing well, which is the important thing.
Yeah.
Something else that's been reviewing well and streaming decently on my end, Forza Horizon 4. It is out. It is in people's hands. People are playing it. I love this game.
Yeah, tell me about it. I have not gotten my hands on it. Probably won't for a little while. So why don't you testify? Preach.
I will. So if people want to check out, I've streamed my first hours of the game over at twitch.tv/Jeff Roth. I've streamed the beginnings of it, and once we're done here, I'm going to head back over there and stream more of it. But the first thing is that it's stunning. And I have it on high. I don't have it on ultra because my 1060 can only handle so much at this point.
Okay.
But the first thing you do once you get past like the initial kind of the cutscene is you're thrown into the English countryside in the fall with a nice little sunset in the background. It looks gorgeous. And it kind of takes you a little video through the 4 seasons. My biggest problem right now is that it seems to be having a problem with streaming software. And the
Hmm.
fact where if I open up my OBS Studio and I tell my game capture to find it, the game crashes. If I do game capture or window capture, no matter what, the game crashes. I have to capture it via display capture.
Oh.
So if people want to see my lovely desktop, they can do that. Um, so hopefully there'll be a fix. It's not just me having that issue, as a bunch of the NVIDIA users, maybe on a recent driver update, may have had some issues with talking to the actual game itself. But either way, I'm getting uh, pretty. Okay, I'm getting consistently 60 frames on it, and mwah, the opening part, it takes you through all four seasons. It kind of shows you
Sure.
what you're going to get into, and then you have to do some events in each season before you get into the actual live server game. Just kind of show you, kind of get a feel for what's different aesthetically and what's different, because your car will handle differently as far as the mud or the snow, or in that realm as well. The map is huge, and kind of taking a bit from Forza 7, you could create a custom character and then outfit them with shirts and hats and dances and what have you, which is fun. Except for there's way too much Fortnite influence on the dances, which may want to burn this game, but it's okay. Right now, I'm into the winter part of the prelude. I believe I have to get through spring before I get to the actual game, the actual main server. But what's neat is that every gray circle that's moving on the map is an actual human racing. It's not drivatars. These are
Oh,
actual humans in the game,
that's cool.
which is really cool. And it sounds like when I get to the main game, there'll be like some co-op challenges. They'll do the Forza-thons. You can get your XP that way, but it's just gonna be just this feels like a racing MMO, which is really neat. And what's great too is that they can change the season server side. I believe they'll change them every week. So I think we're on autumn right now, but next week this time we may be at winter, we may be at spring, depending on how they want to change the seasons.
Hmm.
And with that season change will come different challenges and different co-op challenges and what have you. So this does feel like a living, breathing racing world, and it just I want to get to that point, because I feel like I'm still in the prologue, and I want to get to the main meat of the game, because
How many hours are you into the game right now?
I would say maybe three or four
Okay. All right.
thus far. The there I'm not seeing any microtransactions.
How do you
There
how do you feel it compares to Forza Horizon 3?
I think it's better than three. 'Cause I think with three, like, I really loved Horizon 2, and
Uh-huh.
I think Horizon 3 was really good, except it was kind of more the same. But I think 4 is really pushing it into different territory, because of the season, sure, but it's taking what made 3 good and what made 2 great and putting them together into what's making 4 a lot of fun.
Gotcha. Well, yeah,
But
awesome. Definitely head on over to twitch.tv/Jefferoth and check that out immediately following this show, and join him as he plays through some Forza Horizon 4.
that's right.
This weekend, I checked out the Soul Calibur VI network beta test.
Yes, I'm very jealous. I was
Ooh.
busy being hungover on Sunday thanks to the bachelor party for my friend on Saturday, so Sunday was not a good day.
It's
Um,
shaping up nicely. I am excited about it now. I am ready for some Soul Calibur. It took a little while. It's tough. It is a tough game. It takes a little while to start getting into a groove. It took me like 2 days before I finally won a match. So
okay.
that's frustrating.
So,
That was a little frustrating.
did you have a main going for you? Or were you just kind of bouncing around? So what was the roster like in this test?
They had, I want to say, 12 characters that were available, including the one that's going to be DLC. So
Right,
they're
was
like,
Tifa
hey,
there
you
still
can
there?
play as her now, but then you got to buy her later when the game comes out.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it gets shrewd business.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. They definitely changed up some of the mechanics so it feels different, but not in a bad way. It still feels like Soul Calibur, but it definitely feels like they're trying to take some cues from, like Street Fighter or Tekken, stuff like that, and kind of spice up the Soul Calibur formula. The game plays pretty fast. I really like the speed of the game. The graphic style and the art style aesthetically make it feel like Soul Calibur 1.
Right.
Which is cool. I think storyline wise, there's like a vortex in time or something, and they do go back and relive the events of Soul Calibur 1, but I think that's according to the press releases. But
and we got to play some of this at Evo this year as well. How did it feel any differently from Evo? Does it feel more fine tuned? Is it reminiscent of what you remember from Evo?
I only had one match at Evo, so I didn't really get that good of a feel for it at Evo. But from what I played of it, it's very, very good. I like the new mechanics. They've got, of course, the super ultra moves like you would have in a Street Fighter game or what they put in Tekken. They also have this one move, and I forget what it's actually called, but think of it like, how in the Injustice games, you'll do like this move and you'll have like this showdown where the screen kind of breaks and then you've got
the clash mode. Yeah.
Yes, they have implemented a sort of a clash mode into this game.
Right, the rock paper scissors stuff.
Yeah. Which is very interesting. It definitely adds a new wrinkle to the fighting, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that translates into the competitive scene. But for a filthy casual / fighting game aficionado wannabe, it's a cool mechanic that is implemented into the game. So overall, I enjoyed Soul Calibur 6. My appetite is whet. I'm ready for October 16th when this game
it's just
launches.
A few weeks, man.
Yeah. So yeah, Soul Calibur 6 definitely thumbs up so far. The one thing that I'll say that kind of sucked was that it felt like it took forever sometimes to get into a match.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's...
And you were on PS4?
Yeah, I was on PS4.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was, just something going on, like a kink that needs to be worked out as far as the network code or what that's all about. But there were some times that I was sitting there for, several minutes waiting to get into a match.
And was it just online one-on-one? Was that all that it was?
Yeah, that's all there was just the one-on-one online.
Gotcha.
I'm
hype.
I have not gotten around to Speed Brawl yet, but your review, if you haven't seen Kikapav's review of Speed Brawl on NerdBacon.com, definitely go check that out, because this is one of the hidden gems of the year, Speed Brawl.
I think the developers even quoted her on Twitter.
They did, actually. They retweeted that tweet out. They retweeted the review out.
So Kika already making friends and being better than us.
Yep. I will definitely play it. It's sitting on my PS4 ready to go.
Nice. Let's see. Speaking of stuff that's ready to go, I guess what else is this? I mean, this month is just packed. I mean, not only are we going to be getting... I do want to play Assassin's Creed. I may wait until Black Friday for that one, though. Because I do want to dive in on Soul Calibur. I do want to dive in on Black Ops because of how Blackout was received. But Dave, the Watchy Man. Recently, we got the next gameplay trailer for the biggest game of our lifetime.
Red Dead. But
okay, I'm exaggerating, but Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay trailer part 2, showing off a lot more of the in-game stuff, a lot more of the Deadeye, a lot more of the open world, a lot more of the, you can get fat. There's some San Andreas levels of character, like getting fat, getting skinny, with the beard on. This is going into realms of insanity.
What more can we say about this game? I mean, you have to take a bath because you're going to be stinking too much walking through town if you don't. It's pushing this level of detail that's going to be unheard of.
And the thing that got me, the quote was, maybe not from the trailer, but I was reading it in like some of the press notes was, if you kill a civilian, their family members can hunt you down at any point in the game.
That's just awesome.
There are so many levels of insanity with that sentence alone. Who's the family? How are they going to find you? Is that going to be a cutscene? Is they just going to be a randomly shot in the head, or would you be challenged to a duel? But like the fact that it's going like BioWare levels of they will remember that.
Right.
Like this is just mind blowing that this is coming out.
Every developer that was worried about this game impacting their sales is right to do so. You are right to get out of the way of Red Dead, because this is all I'm going to want to play after this game comes out. I'm done with anything else after this game comes out.
Right. And it makes me want to buy a 4K TV, because just seeing how because this is all captured in game. I'm assuming a PS4 Pro and Xbox. I'm assuming PS4 Pro, but I think they said Xbox One X can also reach this. But
I would assume so.
Yeah, but I'm getting it on an Xbox, because I have more of the gig space available for. Because like 120 gig.
Just over 100.
Holy crap! So get your hard drive ready, kids.
Yeah.
But like, it looks incredible. Just graphically, it looks incredible. The sunsets are gorgeous, and everything just feels so organic. It feels like you're like, again, the living, breathing Wild West. This is all I've ever wanted in a sequel to this game, and then some.
It's going to be hard to beat for Game of the Year. I really feel that, unless there's just like something catastrophically wrong with this game. I don't see how anybody else is going to beat this game.
I really want to. I don't know. The closer we get, then I'm guessing the last trailer will be multiplayer, and that's what I'm really interested in. But they did, and I just see how much GTA Online influence is going to be in Red Dead Online. But they showed a little bit of first-person view in this trailer as well, because you can play the whole game out of the box in first-person mode. That looks insane. Just riding on horseback, trying to do some like drive-by horseback shooting. That looks insane at first person.
The bottom line is, with Grand Theft Auto V likely to hit 100 million units of software sold, between that and the astronomical sales of Red Dead 2, let's say it does half of that, you're still talking 50 million units sold. Easily. And I think they could easily hit it. Basically, Rockstar never has to produce another game again.
Nope. they can begin work on Rockstar Games Table Tennis 2 and then just ride to the sunset.
Yeah. They can all retire. I would hope they can all retire after this.
Or
not that I want them to.
Make Bully 2 before they retire.
I wonder what they'll work on. They're probably working on Grand Theft Auto 6.
At some point, they've been supporting online for so long now.
Yeah.
There's all these free content updates, and it's just, and now they're taking this whole other endeavor with Red Dead, and you got to wonder what this will do for GTA Online if the player base would just say, let's go, and then go over to Red Dead, or will they sustain both?
I don't know. I think the audiences could be different enough, because I'm not really a Grand Theft Auto guy, but I love Red Dead. I love that Western setting. I love that world. Zoda, cool fool, Yoda you. Yeah, I love the whole motif of Red Dead versus Grand Theft Auto. Not saying Grand Theft Auto is a bad game. It's an excellent game. It's just not as much my cup of tea, so to speak.
Well, and the fact that, like I said before, like Western games are not nearly as well represented as open world kind of crime style GTA games. That the choices for Western games that are at least good are more slim, let's say. So when Red Dead comes out and set the bar, it's kind of like, okay, this is the bar for Western games, period.
It's definitely, the Western setting is definitely a setting that is surprisingly unexplored in the gaming space. You would think there'd be a lot more Westerns developed. I don't understand why. I mean,
we like Call of Juarez and Gun, and Activision really touted Gun as kind of their big thing, and then whoops. there has to be more. I mean, like secret ponchos. But anyway, it's just the more I see of Red Dead, the more I just cannot wait for October 26th. I'm speechless.
Well, with that speechless, let's go ahead and wrap this up so we can see the last couple innings of this Cubs game, see if they can pull this out here.
We're still losing.
We're still losing 1-0. We're in the bottom of the seventh right now.
So quick hits here. Lego Overwatch is a set that's going to be happening. They announced today via Twitter that Lego is working with Blizzard to make an Overwatch set of Legos, which is cute. I will want those.
Better than the Call of Duty Legos. Remember those?
Yeah, that was weird. Just some of the big hits here. Yeah, the Toys R Us bankruptcy the auction was canceled, so this might not be the last we see of the brand.
I don't know. They're done. All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring it on home.
Yeah, let's bring it home. Dave, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at Dave the Watchman. You can also find us on Twitter at nerd_bacon. You can find all of our body of work here at NerdBacon.com. We've got a big report coming out tomorrow on PlayStation 5. I think it's launching in 2019, and I lay out my case as to why. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be live at 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow morning on NerdBacon.com.
And you can learn more about me on my Twitter at Jefferoth or at twitch.tv/Jefferoth, which I'll be going after this to stream more Forza Horizon 4. Go make sure you follow me over on the Twitter and the Twitch. Of course, if you're on NerdBacon, you can see things like Dave's article about Google announcing what they're doing with streaming. You can look at Kiko's review of Speed Brawl, Conqueso's reasons to get back in No Man's Sky, and more and more and more. Of course, more content coming from us this month as we rev up through Q4 and get through the holidays because the big games are upon us. And don't forget, purchase your NerdBacon shirts. If you click on there's a link right around this area on my chest on the stream where you can purchase the NerdBacon logo t-shirts. Not only will you look cool, you'll support us as well.
That's right. Any final words?
Tomorrow this week is the WWE Super Show in Australia?
Yes, this week.
We can see Triple H versus the Undertaker for the last time. I guess.
That's what we thought. That's what we thought at WrestleMania. What was it?
28. That was Taker and Shawn, wasn't it? Anyway.
No, it wasn't. No,
and Shawn was referee.
Yeah, Shawn was the referee in that.
Yeah, okay. It felt kind of weird because they're Undertaker and Kane. Because they're going to have Kane and Shawn Michaels in the corner, too. On Raw last night, they had Taker and Kane and Shawn and Triple H in the ring at the same time. Like, I feel old.
Yeah, they're still living off of the glory of 20 years ago.
Shawn Michaels is bald now. It's really kind of weird.
That is so disconcerting, isn't it?
It is. Anyway.
All right. Well.
Thank you all for watching, and get ready for a great month of gaming, both out in the open and, of course, here at NerdBacon.com. And thank you for following us on Twitch and Mixer and YouTube and all your favorite audio podcasts as well.
That's right. Until next time, I'm Dave the Watchman.
And I am Jefferoth.
See you next week. And until then, game tasty. Go Cubs.
Come on,
See
Cubbies.
you next week.
Bye.
Bye.